Hello, everyone. This is Shamvi from Designhill and your host for today. I hope you and your families are keeping well and safe. And I would like to welcome each one of you for this session where we are going to talk about road to leadership and key to success. Today's event is brought to you by Designhill, world's leading creative marketplace that caters to the creative needs of businesses and individuals alike who can source high quality designs from professional designers and buy unique products created by independent artists. So, moving ahead, let me introduce you to our amazing speaker for today. We have with us Pierre. Pierre, after working for more than 10 years in the hospitality industry with a strong background in conference and banqueting in 4 and 5-star establishments, he decided to start his training and consultancy company called Learn and Succeed Hospitality Training. Learn and Succeed provides amazing and innovative training courses for all the industry and hospitality experts. The outstanding training programs are delivered either online for individuals or directly on site for businesses. With certified and authentic training courses entirely made by himself, he strongly believes that by training the right people, the right training can help in making our industry a better place. He's also very proud and committed to taking part in people's development or the success of their company. Hi, Pierre. Would you like to say a quick hi to our audience there?
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for all being here today. I greatly appreciate it that you all take the time to attend this webinar, and I'll make sure that you get some great learnings out of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So great. So before we start this session here, here's a big announcement for all of you here. We are giving away certificates to all the attendees, but for that, you'll have to stick around till the end. So brace yourself and stay tuned till the very end. Also, you can take a screenshot of this event and post it on your Twitter accounts. And don't forget to tag Designhill DH. One lucky winner will have a chance to win a gift card worth $50. All right, so before we start the session, let's quickly look at what Designhill is all about.
Need to get your parents off your back? Head to the world's #1 creative marketplace, Designhill.
When I started my photography business, I needed something that said, this was more than just a hobby. It's not a hobby, Mom. That's why I went to Designhill and got an amazing logo super fast at a price I could afford. The process was easy using Designhill's logo maker. Just enter the name of your business, then pick out a number of designs that inspire you. I'll pick this one and that one looks cute. Then pick your colors or let the system decide. Add some more info like a slogan, the industry your business is in, and your budget. The logo maker, using machine learning and artificial intelligence, will design thousands of logo variants that you can choose from and adapt. In fact, I was able to get everything from business cards to t-shirt design and complete social media kit, all with the click of a button. With that, I'm all set. Now everyone I meet knows I'm a legit photographer. Even my mom. It's real. That's decaf.
Let the world know it's real and build your brand with Designhill. Designhill.
All right, that was all about Designhill, and now we are all set to start the session. We will be taking up questions also, guys, during the session. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the questions tab section on your screen. Pierre, over to you.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Thanks again, everybody, for being here today. I greatly appreciated your time. Just before I start with this presentation, I just would like to let you know you will be sent in the chat some links about my website, links of the training, online training courses page, part of my website where you can see all the different training coaching services I am delivering directly online, so it can be delivered all over the world. You'll be sent as well a link to my YouTube channel where you can see so many different videos that I'm doing talking about different topics such as leadership as well. You will have a video about leadership in there. And you'll be sent as well the documents of the presentation itself. via a Google Drive link. You can directly get it there. And at the end of the presentation, in any case, you will be getting the video of the presentation, so you can have directly access to the presentation in there. You will have as well access to my email address directly on the chat. And you will, in any case, can access and contact me directly via my website if you have any question, if you like to have more information, and of course, if you want to attend and participate to any of my training. So I will be starting with the presentation. I will be sharing my screen. All right, here we are. And I will put it in full screen so everybody can see. So starting with the introduction, leadership keys to success. So today I'm going to show you all the different aspects of leadership. What are the keys to success in order to be an outstanding leader? And most of all, what is the mindset to have in order to make sure that you are inspiring others and you are seen as a leader by people around you. So the introduction has been already done very well by Designhill. So just a quick reminder, my name is Pierre. I'm originally from France. I'm living now in the United Kingdom since 5 years. I've been having 10 years of background in hospitality industry, 4-star to 5-star hotel most part of the time. I've been working as well to different restaurants, F&B departments. My main focus was conference and banqueting. I've been working from waiter to casual to intern up to manager, floor supervisor, and head of the banqueting operation department in an hotel in London. I've been working not only in France, in the UK, I've been working as well in China for 1 year. So that made my experience very diverse and rich. And I can say that many things I'm talking about during my training courses are coming from this experience. So my company, Learn and Succeed, is something I've started more than a year ago. It's a great adventure, started from a dream, working for myself. And secondly, do what I've always wanted, which is training people. So I can say I'm very proud to be doing that currently, and this will be for many, many years because there's nothing else I would like to do. So why did I choose to train people? Well, to do what I've always wanted, but of course actively participate in the learning and progression of anyone attending my training courses. My goal is not only, I would say, to share knowledge, but as well to be able to share an experience, my own experience and what learning I've made from it, so you can do the same with your own experience. It can be what I believe are the keys to success, but as well the own learning I've made for myself, the strength, the weaknesses, my achievements, and even my mistakes, because there's nothing else better than a learning from your own self. So anyone can do the same from themselves. So you will see that.
Pierre, sorry to interrupt you. We have shared your presentation on the...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can remove the... Okay, so now the presentation. All right. Perfect. Thank you very much. Dismiss. Okay. Thank you very much. That's perfect. So yes, that's all about it, about the presentation. So you'll see on my website is online training, but I'm doing as well on-site trainings for businesses and companies, part of the industry of hospitality. I'm not only delivering training courses for people in hospitality, because many of my courses and the topics I am covering are also for any other type of industries, either for management, leadership, improve your improvement, team working, interpersonal skills, etc., etc. They are matching with any other type of industry out of the hospitality. So quick summary of what we will be running through today together. So first of all, a quick overall understanding of the basics of leadership. So we just understand what it means, what it includes, etc., etc. Then in the second part, we will be seeing the core values of leadership. What is really important to have in mind, what is the mindset to have, and what is important to understand in order to be successful as a leader. Then we will be seeing more in details different aspects of leadership that are really important to be outstanding in the way you are managing your team and inspiring others. Will be from being fair to others and to your team, how to show recognition as a tool of empowerment and why it is important, take into consideration your team's feedback and how you should do so, to finally terminate by casting a vision, setting objectives, and bring changes. So starting by overall understanding. So the first very important thing to get about leadership is that leadership is something subjective. There's no one way of being an outstanding leader. There's not a specific guidelines to follow that you have to read every morning or something that you have to kind of know by heart in order to be an outstanding leader. There is none. There is just your own type of leadership. There is as much different types of leadership as there is leader on this planet, I would say. So that's the first important thing to understand. Leadership is subjective for another reason. Leadership will not only be related to your own vision of leadership, but as well to people's perception of leadership. Which means that, let's say you are managing a team of 10 people. Within those 10 people, maybe only 8 or 7 or 6 will see you as an outstanding leader, as someone that really inspired them. It doesn't mean that you are a bad leader because 4 people within your team do not see you as a leader. Not at all. People have their own perception of leadership. People will be more sensitive to one thing. People may be more sensitive to another aspect of leadership. For instance, someone with a very good knowledge about wine, about gastronomy, just by his knowledge may inspire so many people. Another person, because this person is very human, leading the people, trying to get them grow, he will inspire many other people. So we all have our own style of leadership. What is important is to understand the mindset. Of course, that is why your leadership style is unique and why it is making you unique as a leader. Another thing is leadership is not one big thing. It's a combination of hundreds of little things that you will do every day on a daily basis. It's not because you do something amazing today that you will be a leader forever. That's a combination of things that you keep doing on a consistent basis. I love to compare, in fact, leadership with love. That's a bit cliche from Frenchmen like me, but the reason behind that is because love is a feeling. And in order to be showing your love, you need to prove your love by taking actions on a daily basis, throwing flowers, showing attention, etc., etc. It's exactly the same with leadership. Leadership is a mindset, but it's through what you will do on a daily basis, the actions you will take, the goals you will have, the decisions you will make, that you will be a great leader. Of course, leadership needs to be natural. What I mean by that is that you need to believe in everything you do. It needs to be coming from yourself. You cannot fake leadership. It needs to be something you believe on. Only by being able to really kind of having this leadership coming from yourself, from your heart, will you be able to be really true and do everything you do 100%. All right. Of course, it's a mindset leadership. And one of the keys to success about leadership is, because it's related to inspiring others, is to spread this mindset to others so you can inspire them. So it's not only about yourself, actually. It's about what impact you are having on others. Another thing is, of course, believing in yourself and showing self-confidence. Sometimes self-confidence can be seen as arrogance. And of course, if it's too much into an extreme, it can be turning into arrogance, and that's totally normal. However, when you are a leader, when you are in charge of a team, when you are managing a team, you are expected by others to be the one in charge. They want to see in you the person who has the shoulder, I would say, to handle the pressure, face responsibilities, and achieve goals, etc., etc., and even face challenges. In order to do that, you need to show self-confidence. Sometimes you will be doubting, many times as a leader, but your ability to show it, that's what's going to be as well the key to success. People need to see that in you in order to be following you, trusting you. Of course, in order to be sure that this self-confidence doesn't become arrogance, it needs to be balanced between self-confidence and humility. You'll realize that actually a lot of things, not only in leadership but in life, is about balance. The more you are trying to be balanced between two different things, the more you'll be able to have an impact. It's important to be humble. It's important to be self-confident. By having this balance, you will be having the impact you want on your team and be seen as a leader. Of course, pride has a huge impact. Only by being proud of what you do will you be able to really have the strength to wake up every day, face the challenges, solve the problems you are facing. Sometimes, in the work environment, it's a very competitive market. In any industry you're working on, there's always a high pressure, a lot of responsibilities. So all this will bring an atmosphere sometime in your workplace where only the mistakes will be pointed out. You will even only see the bad things you do and kind of feel bad for it and try to improve on that, which is a good thing, but you should not feel bad on it. You need to be proud of what you've accomplished, proud of what you've been through, and proud of your strength, because pride is as well a huge factor of leadership. About the core values of leadership, there is, in fact, a lot of core values in leadership. I put, to my opinion, the 6 more important ones. The one that, if I will only have 5 minutes, I will say, to talk about leadership, I may show you this slide. So, of course, performance management. When you become a manager, you're not only responsible anymore of your own performance, but the performance of the people you're managing. Therefore, that's why it's really important that you understand that now, your own performance is not, even if you are very good, is not good enough. You are responsible for the performance of your team. Therefore, you need to have an impact on how they perform in their job. So there's billions of ways of doing it. And it's all, of course, related to your own work environment and your own job. You can be giving daily feedback to your team members. It can be doing one-to-ones, providing training to your team members, doing briefing, doing debriefing, doing meetings, weekly meetings, monthly meeting within your department to address the things, etc., etc. And of course, the ongoing performance management on a daily basis. The last thing about performance management that's really important is as well the ability to make sure that your team members are managing their own performance management. They're managing their own performance by themselves. What I mean by that is that they need to be able to improve themselves on their mistakes. They need to be able themselves to target their weaknesses and their strengths. They need to be able themselves to work with autonomy and ownership and organize themselves. They need to be able to ask themselves the good questions. Is there something I'm not being good at? Is there something I'm being too long at doing? Is there something I'm having difficulties? That's the first thing, is that sometimes when it comes to training your team, we as managers, we may think that it's always us, what is coming from us to our team. But it's as well, what is your ability to make sure your team members are improving by themselves? Of course, self-awareness is very important. You need to be aware of your strengths and your weaknesses, so you can improve on your weaknesses and use your strength accordingly. Again, like I said before, leadership is not only about your own self, but about the mindset you are spreading within your team. So it is really, really important that you are spreading this mindset of self-awareness, so people are also aware on their strengths and weaknesses. Now, when it comes to exemplarity, I think this is, in fact, the 2 middle ones, exemplarity and integrity, are really one of the most important ones in leadership, to my opinion. So starting by exemplarity, you simply cannot give a feedback to someone, expecting something from someone, if you are not applying what you want others to apply to themselves, applying it to your own selves. And that's the most important part. You need to lead by example. Exemplarity is, of course, related to everything you do. Remember that you will be constantly looked at by people. They will look up to you as the example to follow. Therefore, they want to see you as an example. And of course, you're a human being and you may make mistakes, etc., etc. And that is totally normal. However, you need to do your best to always be an example. Of course, you cannot be perfect. There's a saying who says, well, that's kind of a saying I kind of made up a little bit myself. Perfection is not being perfect, but is knowing you are not while doing your best to try to be. And that's the most important thing that you need to try to do with exemplarity. Now, the second thing about exemplarity is to understand that, of course, exemplarity is not, again, only related to yourself, but how much you are being an example when you are managing people, being fair on the feedback you're giving to everyone, treating everybody equally, focus on everybody's performance management, giving to your team the tools, the environment for them to perform their job well, etc., etc. So it's all how you're going to be an example in what you're applying to yourself, to others, but as well how you are spreading a work environment that will make your team members perform as good as they can. Now, when it comes to integrity, so just to kind of show a little bit of a different vision of leadership, sometimes people may tend to think that leadership is only related to the direct impact you will have on others. In fact, it's not only related to the direct impact you will have on others. It's as well related to the indirect impact you have on others through what you are applying to your own selves. By being able to have the good work ethic, the good values, by being able to believe that what you do is the right thing to do, by being able to do your job the same way, either you are alone or surrounded by people. Either to do your job not because you have to do it, but because you believe that's the right thing to do, or doing it with consistency. Only by showing a long-term integrity will you be able to indirectly inspire people. You will inspire people and push them to do the same. Now you need to make them understand why they need to do that. And one of the reasons why they need to do that is respect. Coming to the fifth point. So respect, many people think that respect at work is only related, I would say, to being respectful and polite to others. Of course, this is very important. But there's other different aspects of respect in the workplace. First of all, understanding that your work, the way you are working, will have an impact on others. Therefore, you have a responsibility, that's even bringing us to the sixth point, of doing your job well. Because you do not want this to impact negatively others. If you're not being consistent in your job, if you're not improving on your mistakes, etc., etc., this will have a negative impact on others because they may have to catch up your mistakes. They may suffer the consequences the day after, etc., etc. And that's how it can impact the team working within your team. As a leader, you need to be an example of team working, and you need to enhance this team working on a daily basis. And only by being respectful through the way you are doing your work and share these values of respect to others, so everybody understands that they have a responsibility of doing their job well, so it doesn't impact negatively others. Only by doing so will you be able to really spread a mindset of team working. And that's what you need to do. You need to be going all together as one team towards one goal. We went through a little bit already responsibilities. There's another aspect of responsibilities. Of course, once you become a leader, you have responsibilities. One thing I would like to say, sometimes we make the assumption that leadership is only related to managers. It's not. We can be a leader without having a position of managers, because leadership is not a title. Leadership is not a role. Leadership is not a position. Leadership is the impact you are having on others. That's leadership. Therefore, you need to understand that any responsibilities you have at any levels, you need to be able to handle these responsibilities to the best way, again, for all the reasons we mentioned before. Of course, you need to be fair at all times. So in order to be fair at all times, there is different things to have in mind. First of all, you need to create an atmosphere of trust. So before I go through this, the different points of how to be fair towards your team and towards others, what is important to understand is that when you are either a team member or most part of the time a manager arriving in a team, the first thing the people will need from you, they will need to trust you. That's the first need they will need. They will need to trust you so they can feel that you will be there to bring them good. Trust is one of the first needs team members will require from their manager. Because by being trusted, you will be able to have the impact you want on people, have the communication you want on people, have the reliability you want between each other. You'll be able to take the actions, change the things you want to change accordingly, solve the problems, but as well put your team members facing their own challenges. In a way, get them out of their comfort zone, making them face difficulties. All this, you need to have people trusting you in order to do that. If they don't trust you, you can be sure that you will never be able to do that. Another thing is that, of course, as a leader, you will be changing things. You will try to improve things. Those things may sometimes not be good for people at the beginning for one reason. It may bring them more difficulties, do tasks in a more difficult way, bring them more additional tasks, etc., etc. But sometimes it is actually part of the process, and that's important to do that. But only by them trusting you will they be able to understand that, and will you be able to, as we said already, spread this mindset. Of course, you need to be factual and objective. Do not let your emotions drive you. Emotions is a very good thing. However, it can be a very bad thing in many different situations, mainly when it comes to the workplace. Because when it comes to the workplace, there is billions of emotions that can be negative. Anger, frustrations, being tired, being bored, being under pressure, being stressed, anxiety, etc., etc. You need to be able to control these emotions so your visions, your feedback, your objectives, your actions and decisions will be factual and objective. Of course, you need to make sure you are not spreading out a blaming culture within your team. There is nothing worse than a blaming culture. Blaming culture will be something where people are blaming each other for mistakes, where you are not addressing mistake, but you are blaming for mistake. First of all, the first thing to understand about mistake is that there's nothing more positive than making a mistake as long as you improve from it. Some people think that mistake is negative straight away. It's not. It's actually an opportunity to improve. And that's the very important thing to understand. If you are improving from your mistake, then it's a positive thing because you've moved forward. Of course, another thing about blaming culture that's very dangerous is that if you are always afraid of being blamed for something you've done, you will be afraid of making mistakes. Therefore, you will not be performing your job as naturally as you should do. You will be stressed, anxious about doing things wrong, etc., etc. So it will have a negative impact on your work performance. Finally, by having a blaming culture is like what I like to call a snowball that keeps going down a hill and keeps getting bigger. Because unfortunately, if you're being blamed, you will want to not get the blame on you, and you will try to put it on others. So it starts to get an environment and atmosphere very negative. You need to fight against blaming culture at all costs. Of course, you need to focus on the work performance. So you will have people you prefer rather than others. You will even have people you are friends with. But this shouldn't change the fact that work is work, and when it's time to focus on the work performance, either the person is a friend or not, you should be treating this person equally in the same manner that you are treating someone else. I always remember one of my managers back in France that I used to meet outside for drinks, restaurants, etc., etc. He was actually very good in making me understand that when we were at work, we were at work. And I actually respect him and look up to him for that. And that's even from him that I got this mindset today. Again, a proof that is a lot about spreading the mindset. Of course, you need to be fair on the feedback given. Being fair on the feedback given is, first of all, not only give, sometimes we tend to think that the feedback is only giving the negative feedback, what I like to call opportunities of improvement. Well, of course, it's not. It's also giving the positive feedback. Positive feedback is so important. It's a tool of recognition. You feel recognized by your great value and your great work that you are providing on a daily basis by receiving positive feedback. It's a tool of empowerment. You want to receive more positive feedback, so you will give more of yourself. You will not work 100%, but 110%, because you have this extra mile you want to do because of the empowerment you receive from the people who give you the positive feedback. Finally, another way of being fair to your feedback is to be able to give feedback to everyone the same way. Even someone that is perfect in doing his or her job, you should be giving feedback to this person. There is still something that you can improve on. And remember, if you are not doing so, maybe this person that is really well performing may get into a comfort zone, may lower his or her guard, her standards. And that's why it's very important to keep making people understand, I'm still having an eye on you and I'm still managing your performance, even if you're doing very well. Of course, you need to be treating everyone equally. So it's very important to understand that treating everyone equally is not the same than treating everyone the same. I don't think you should treat everyone the same. Of course, there is people that are facing more difficulties, people that are just arriving in the working place, people that are very well experienced, etc., etc., people that will have different strengths than others, different weaknesses than others. So of course you cannot be treating everyone the same, but you need to be treating everyone equally. You should focus on everybody's performance the same way. You should address everybody the same manner, which is a respectful manner. Of course, showing fairness under every situation. No situation of stress, of pressure should make you being unfair towards others. No favorite or unhealthy competition. So again, by kind of befriending too much with people, you may create favorite and unhealthy competition. An unhealthy competition, that's a word I like to use because I kind of saw that a lot sometimes in a working environment, is those things where, for example, people will start to kind of come to you to complain about someone in the back, or etc., to make themselves look good. You know, those things that are not performance focused, but more, you know, not what you do, but what you say. You know, there's always a saying, I think it's important to, first of all, being able to show what you can do before being able to show what you can say. And I think that's really important, that you are focusing on what people do and say, but not only on what people say. You need to be equal and, again, balanced. Of course, like we say, applying to others what you are applying, applying to yourself what you are applying to others, so you can really create this atmosphere of trust, and you can expect the same from everyone. Showing respect and recognition. So why and how? So the blue circle will be what to understand. The golden circle will be what to do. So of course, the first thing you need to understand, it is a natural human need. Of course, when you go to work, one of the first human needs will be to receive a salary at the end of the month, will be to receive a staff meal every day, will be to receive the proper environment to do the job, of course. However, there is so many other things than only receiving those basic things. And those things are more related to the human, the people, the relationship, the management, the leadership. Is to give respect and recognition and understand that that's something people need. The same way that if tomorrow you are helping someone, an older lady getting to the bus or go out of the bus, you will be appreciated to be thanks because, or being respected for it, because it will be showing that you are how good you are as a human being. It's exactly the same at work. By giving respect and recognition, you will be recognized as the great professional that you are, and that's why it's such an important need. Of course, like we say, respect is really important to understand that there is so many different forms of respect, and that people need this respect. People need to feel respected. They need to feel recognized. You wouldn't realize the power of a thank you, and you wouldn't realize how many managers, unfortunately, do not say this very important, very quick to say and powerful thank you. Of course, it is a tool of empowerment. By being able to show this recognition to people, like I said already, they will be able to not give their 100%, but their 120%, because they feel they want to do more for you. And I've been through my career in many difficult situations. Many situations I didn't wish my team to be into with me, I would say. In hospitality, you face kind of a lot. But the fact that I was able to give them this respect and recognition, my team were always able to go together with me through this storm, through these difficult challenges. And they literally went the extra mile for me. And I knew that it could have never been possible if I wouldn't be giving this important recognition and respect to them. It can be saying hi to them on a daily basis, remembering the team first name, remembering that your team member said that he's going to be celebrating his 3 years anniversary with his partner over the weekend, and ask on the Monday, how it was, etc., etc. All those little things that will make a difference and bring a human value to the work that is a real need, and not only the need of course, salary, basic things that we all need to have. You need to be showing respect and recognition under every situation. Again, it's not because you are under pressure, you are facing difficulties, that you should not be showing respect. You should not be giving recognition. And that's coming back to not letting your emotions drive you. Sometimes you have some manager, unfortunately, they do not have this ability to handle the pressure. So what's happening is that they let the pressure goes down on their team, and they even express their own pressure to them, so add up even more through their frustration, their stress. They'll be more impatient, they'll be more rude, they will not care about their non-verbal communication. And again, when we talk about respect and recognition, if there's one thing that is crucial, is the non-verbal communication. It represents 93% of the communication. And even if you think you said something nicely, maybe the way you express it through your smile, the tone of your voice, the way you look at people, your gesture, etc., will have a huge impact. And that's really important to care about this verbal and mostly non-verbal communication. Of course, you need to be genuine. It needs to be natural. You cannot fake respect. You cannot fake giving recognition as much as you cannot fake leadership. And of course, giving all the tools you have in place. So it's not only saying thank you. It's not only showing respect and calling people by their name, but it's congratulating the team during a debriefing, organizing an end of the year party or drinks to thank them for the great work they've done, or just doing a monthly time out with the team where you organize some activity to thank them for or it can just be an email to say thank you, or during a meeting to highlight the achievements of the team, etc., etc. You can use all the tools you want as long as you use some of them. Now I think that it will be time for a very quick break to see some video from Designhill.
Absolutely, absolutely, Pierre. Thank you so much for such an insightful session. I hope everyone is enjoying this session, because I am personally, yes, enjoying it, every bit of it. And it's time for a mid-roll. So before we move forward, I would like to give a quick shout out to Designhill, world's leading creative marketplace, for organizing this event. Stay tuned and we will be right back.
Clarematics is a full-service video agency based around video production. We created a brand that fit our identity at the time, but as we've evolved as a company, we found that original brand didn't quite fit our aspirations anymore. Finding a partner to rebrand your entire company takes a lot of time and effort. Finding Designhill was an incredible lifeline. Designhill offers a money-back guarantee. If we don't like any of the designs, we get all of our money back. The stuff that we ended up with were well beyond what we had been seeing on other creative services platforms. After creating a simple design brief by answering some questions created by Designhill, we posted, and within a few days, we had over 250 entries. Designhill's platform made it easy to communicate with all of the potential designers. Eventually, we picked a winner. In addition to a logo, our designer also created a letterhead, business cards, and banners for all of our social media platforms. With Designhill's help, we now have a brand that meets our aspirations. We're ready for the future and everything that it's here to bring.
All right, so we are back again, and let's continue the session.
Thank you very much. All right, perfect. All right, so that's it for showing respect and recognition. Now, going to taking into consideration your team's feedback and opinion. So again, the blue circle will be what to understand, and the golden circle will be what to do. So of course, again, another very important need out of except recognition in the workplace will be the need of feeling listened to. How important it is to feel listened. I mean, that's one of the first needs that we all have, is to feel listened to. And sometimes, you know, there's a saying that I always like to say. One of the most important part of leadership is not to just listen, but to show active listening. And the saying I like to say is, many people, unfortunately, sometimes, mainly when it comes to have, I would say, an open discussion about things that two people will disagree with, is that they do not listen to the person. They wait for the person to finish to say what they have to say. And that's the first thing that you need to understand about leadership. You should not only listen, you should really listen and understand. You should show active listening. And you should really take into consideration what the people are telling you. Do not wait for someone to say what she or he has to say to just say something else without really, there's a difference, I would say, between hearing something and listening to something. So listen to things more than hearing things. Of course, it's really important to feel listened to, and your team will need that. They will need to feel that you are someone open and accessible that they can talk to, Share with them their difficulties. Share with them their worries. Share with you their difficulties. Share with you their worries. Share with you some opportunities they think can be good, etc., etc. You should always remember your team and the people within your team will see things that you may not see. You do not do the same job than them. There will be sometimes more on, let's say, for example, tomorrow you are a restaurant manager. Right? You may have a lot of work to do in the back of house. You may have a lot of meetings. You may have a lot of things to organize. They'll be the one, your waiters, your team of head waiters to be serving the people. So they may see things that you do not see. So that's really important to take into consideration their opinion, because they will need that, but you will need it as well yourself. And that's the first important thing. It's not only beneficial for them, it's mostly beneficial for you as well. Of course, it is a tool of recognition. So within all the different tools of recognition I gave you, one of them is to be able to show active listening and take into consideration your team's feedback. So there's different ways in order to do so. Of course, be open and accessible. Sometimes you are very busy, but you should never limit your time for your team. There's always something to do. There's always something important. You always have a long to-do list, but one part of your job of manager is to be able to have this free time, to get your team to come to you and say what they need to say, to take into consideration their feedback and take action on it if you have to, etc., etc. You need to have this free time, and you should always show openness and accessibility. Of course, you may be busy at some times, and you may not always be accessible. However, you need to never show to the team member that is not the right time, and it will never be. You should be the one going back to the team member. You should most of all not be rude, and be careful to your non-verbal communication and your approach when you are saying to someone you are not available at that moment. Of course, it's not only by being open and accessible, it's as well by giving opportunities to your team to speak up. Are you giving opportunities to your team members to give their opinions during briefing or debriefing? Are you doing what we call around the table during a meeting where everybody can speak up their mind? Sometimes, remember that the more you give opportunities to your team, the better it is. Maybe the feedbacks that your team is giving you represent only 10% of the things they really want to say to you. Therefore, you need to try to push as much as you can the questions. Not the questions, the remarks, the feedback, the opinions. So you push this, you will never be able to get the 100%, but push it maybe from 10% to 30%. All right. Take action when you have to. Of course, you need to take action, but only when you have to. It doesn't mean that because someone gives you a feedback that you should take action straight away. Maybe this person says something very true, but as per his or her own perspective. There's maybe other things that this person didn't take into consideration. Someone may say to you, oh, we need more equipment, which is very true. However, you know that right now the financial year will be difficult, and you may need to wait a few months before getting this equipment. So yes, the person is true, but you cannot take actions. You need to make the team member understand. But only by being able to show openness to your people's feedback, and by being able to show respect and reply back, will you be able to make the team member understand. So it's not because you cannot take action that you should not say nothing to the person. You should still take time to say, I understand, but the reason being we cannot do it right now is this, that, or that. Of course, the other thing is that you should not be the only one taking actions. You need to make sure your team is taking ownership and responsibility in taking actions if they can themselves. You are not the problem solver, the only problem solver in your team because you are the manager. You are not the only problem solver because you are in charge. Not at all. If they have responsibilities, if they have the ability to sort it out themselves, they should be the one taking ownership. And that's, again, about spreading the mindset. Finally, do not only be reactive but proactive. What I mean is do not only wait for the feedback to come to you, but actively look for feedback. Ask questions. Be on the floor with your team. Question everything. If there's one manager that I always admire, is someone that was never satisfied with anything because he was always questioning everything. But by doing so, he was always pushing us to give feedback. He was always asking questions. It was very good because things were always moving forward. So remember, do not only be reactive, but be proactive in not only receiving feedback, but looking for feedback. Finally, cast a vision, set objectives, and bring changes. Of course, you need to cast a vision. You need to make your team understand this vision, so they will understand the reason, they will understand the why behind each decision. So that's really important to do that. Of course, you need to stand for your ideas. Sometimes you have ideas, and it's going to take time to be accepted by people, but you have a good reason behind. Remember, you've been chosen because people believe that you were the right person fit for the role. So stand for what you believe is right. Of course, when you set objectives, do not set only objectives for yourself. Remember, you are responsible of a team of team members. So of course, if you are a personal team member, you are not a manager, you will set objectives for yourself. But once you become a manager, you need to set objectives for yourself, for team members, for your team, and more generally, objectives that will match with your company's goals. Be a problem solver. That's really important. Do not see problem as secondary. Do not see problem as something you should do when you have time. Problem should be entirely part of your role. You should not walk next to a problem and ignore it. You should go see it front, face it front, and try to sort it out. And remember, see it as something, do not see it as something negative, see it as something positive. The same way that a mistake is an opportunity to improve. So do not be afraid of problems and do not run away from problems. Do not get stressed because of problems. See it as an opportunity for you to improve. And finally, bring changes. Of course, you need to bring changes where you have to bring changes, but only when you have to. Sometimes you will start a new role and people will tell you, oh, I need you to change things, etc., etc. So sometimes you will change things because you feel you've been asked to. But do you really believe in this change? Do you really believe in the impact of this change? Did you take time to analyze the working place, the working environment, the people? Did you take time to analyze if your change you want to bring will really have the impact you want? And what will be the impact, as simple as it is? Sometimes, we always say that when you start a job, you should always take time as a manager to understand everything before bringing changes. When I start my last job, it was 4 years ago, more than 4 years ago, actually. My manager said to me on the second day, I will need you to change things. And he was giving me a specific example. And I totally agree with that. But the first thing I said to him is, I totally agree with that, but I will need time. I will need maybe a month or a bit more to first of all understand it. Because even if the change was right, and he was right, the problem is that by not taking time to analyze enough the place, the working environment, etc., unfortunately, it can be doing the opposite. It can be having the opposite impact on what you wanted to have, and it can only bring you more problems. So you need to be really careful with that. Thank you very much, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed this presentation, this short presentation about leadership. I try to put as much bullet points as possible, and really the part of the most important mindset, understanding to have in order to be a great leader. There's so many more, but I hope you get some great learnings from it. So now I'll be more than happy to take any questions if you have. So let me check the chat or the questions.
So I think you have explained it so very well, Pierre, here that there are no questions here, but I have a couple of questions for you.
Very good.
Just to clear my own doubts there, I have a couple of questions for you. So when it comes to a team building and synergizing energies for the collective good of the company, what are some rules to follow?
So you mean for team building, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Like team building activity. Team building activity, I will say that the first rule to follow is to really try to get as much people involved in team building, because one of the main goals in team building is actually, I do some training about how to train your team, and I talk about team building as a way of training your team, because team building would be a way of understanding each other's strengths and weaknesses. It would be a way of being all together, doing something out of the working environment. It would be a way of seeing the good sides in some people you didn't see before, etc., etc. So I would say the first thing to respect is to get really everybody involved. The second rule I would say is definitely to not only do the team building, but it would be to definitely sit after the team building to try to discuss about the learnings. Of course, team building is a fun activity, but the one of the goal is to build the team. So you need to get some great learnings out of it. Therefore, you need to be able to sit together with each other and discuss and exchange what has been done, how it's been done, what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, what did we learn from it.
Right. All right. Thank you so much, Pierre. All right, guys, this brings us to the end of this wonderful presentation by Pierre and such an insightful session. It was really an indeed value-packed session here. Although there is a lot more we could have learned from you, Pierre, but unfortunately we're limited by time. I hope each and everyone enjoyed this session and loved it. Once again, I would like to thank you, Pierre, for your for taking out time for this event.
Thank you very much.
Anything
Thanks to
you want to say it? Anything you want to?
No, thanks to you. Thanks to Designhill as well for giving me this opportunity. And thanks, of course, to everybody who attended this presentation. It's been a real pleasure to do it. And I hope everybody enjoyed.
It was really, really insightful and very, very enjoyable here, Pierre. All right, guys, this is not where it ends. We have a lot more events lined up for you in the coming days. So don't forget to check out our events page. To watch this session and other such wonderful sessions on topics related to branding, leadership, and different topics, you can check out our YouTube channel. You can find all these links in the chat section. For all the designer and artist community who's listening to this and wish to be a part of this thriving community, you can visit designhill.com. On that note, I would like to say a bye to everyone who joined us here today. Take care, guys, and stay safe.
Bye. Thank you very much.